Have you ever wondered that you wear 20% of your cloth 80% of the time, you watch 20% of your favorite show 80% of the time, you like to hang out with 20% of your friends 80% of the time, you use 20% application of your phone 80% of the time, and so on. This 80 by 20 rule states that 80% of the output comes from 20% of the input. The rule is also known as the Pareto principle, named after Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who observed in 1896 that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. From this he concluded that 20% of activities will account for 80% of results. 20% of customers will account for 80% of sales. 20% of products or services will account for 80% of profits. 20% of tasks will account for 80% of the value, and so on. This means that if you have a list of 10 items to do, 2 of those items will turn out to be worth as much or more than the other 8 items put together. This 80/20 principle is applicable in everything. For example, 20% of creator creates 80% of the YouTube content. 20% of the road have 80% traffic. 20% cities have 80% population. 20% customers do 80% shopping. 20% of crops gives 80% grains. 20% celebrity get 80% attention, and so on. The point of the 80 by 20 rule is that you need to focus primarily on the critical 20% to achieve 80% satisfaction. Of course, this is a general rule, not an irrefutable statistic. For some actions, the breakdown may be closer to 90 by 10 or 70 by 30. But the point is the same, and it can be eerily accurate when you measure the variables in your life. So now question is how we can get benefited from this in our daily life. 80 by 20 principle in studies. Student try to mug up everything before exam, and in doing so they sometime miss important topics, which later results into poor grade. By applying 80 by 20 principle in studies, student can focus on those 20% topics which gives 80% marks, and after that they can go for the rest topics. 80 by 20 principle in business. Suppose there is a shopkeeper and he sells candies. He keeps a wide variety of candies in his store, but people only buy 20% variety of his chocolate 80% of the time. So that 20% varieties of candies stock gets over soon, and now the customer has to go back empty-handed from his store, which reduces his overall revenue. So what should shopkeeper do? The shopkeeper should focus on only that 20% varieties of candies which gives him 80% profit, and keep large stock of that 20% candies instead of keeping wide variety of candies. In this way no customer will go empty-handed from his store, and this will increase his revenue. So now it's your job to recognize those areas where you can apply this 80/20 rule. Do comment in the section below. And if you like the video, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon, and I will see you in the next video.